Good morning. It smells like wet combine in here. But hey, it's not covered in snow anymore, so that's good, right? If you missed yesterday's video, you should go check it out. We got snowed out yesterday. That's right, snowed out. And the corn head was covered in snow when we quit. So it is all melted off. Not really totally dry, but that shouldn't matter too much. I think we can go out and get started pretty much anytime. We did have a hard frost again this morning, so we're kind of waiting for that to burn off. I wanted to look in the sieve here again. We gotta put our chopper back down anyway, just to see how stuff kind of melted out in here. Can we see anything? Yeah, it's wet and sticky, but it should all shake out pretty quickly. Pull a few stuck corn cobs off. Doing our daily oil check. It's down right at the bottom hole. I'm going to add a little bit. So we've had some issues with this engine burning oil since we got it brand new, right? And I took it up to the dealer for them to look at it last year. They didn't really do anything, which, surprise, surprise, right? But basically told me to keep an eye on it and keep running it, use Deer oil in it. I've done those things. I do think it's getting better. I don't think we're burning through it as fast. I mean, I was putting in half a gallon every 3 days last year, I think, something like that. And this will be the third time this fall that I've put a quart in. So yeah, it's not terrible, but I don't like it. I pulled the air filter for the engine off as well. We'll blow it off real quick. I don't do this very often, probably not as often as I should, but I also don't have any issues. It is sort of dirty from beans though. We got this little filter blaster thing that is supposed to be gentler on them and keep the they're not damaging it. There's a pile of dust in it. Anyway, it's better now. There is an inner air filter on these that you don't ever blow out. A kind of a backup safety thing, so any dust that got inside of this filter while I was cleaning it out, that one will catch. It's good. It's a good system. Looks like we could use some fuel, so I'm gonna go out and fuel it up before we can get started here. Double check that you folded that ladder down back there. Double check. What is that? Oh my gosh. We're changing up the game plan just a little bit here today. Brock's coming, but not till 11. Dad's chiseling, so we're gonna leave these long rows where we need a cart until Brock gets here later. And we're gonna go do some more right behind the barn. I've got my superintendent, I guess, my judge for my corn growers contest. We're gonna do one of those entries here this morning, or probably no, later this afternoon. But we're gonna open up around that field here this morning. I cannot stress enough to you how not fun snow and frost and cold weather is shelling corn like this. Like, I get it. It happens. It's just the way it is. It's gonna warm up. We aren't gonna have this every day. But man, is it not fun to come out in the morning and have to deal with frost on your windshield. So I'm gonna attempt to just turn this and let it melt from the inside before I turn that windshield wiper on. It's melting. It's melting quick. Just being in the sun, I think. We must have had a little more snow overnight because the snow we had in the field yesterday, or when we were out here, all melted off. And that's not just frost. That is actual snow. So yeah, we'll go look at the corn plants up here. We're gonna do this a little bit up here behind the farm, behind the buildings, and then we'll come back and finish this field later. Oh, don't hit that. And then we might open up around the plot today. Dryer's running this morning. We're about 4 rings up in our bin over here, so we've got it turned up a little bit, so we're not drying it quite so much. I don't think there's a ton in the wet bin. We got one light on, just one light, so not a lot. Should be able to keep it drying today and shell as much as we want to, reasonably. Dang, I was gonna get started, but there's a lot of snow still on these plants, especially down on these ear leaves and stuff. I think we better wait a little while. The sun is out, it's gotta warm up, it's gonna melt off, we just gotta be patient. Dad's out here running the ripper. I was gonna ride with him, but he's behind the buildings and I'm not walking back there, so. That has become a priority. They got most all of our chicken litter spread, or they're gonna finish it up today. And so keeping the ripper moving and getting the fall tillage done. It's important. It's melting fast. Let's go have another look. You gotta look in the sunshine spots. Just where there's less snow. It's not gone, but it is better. It's still here though. Do I really have to wait for all of that? I mean, we ran in the frost a little bit yesterday, and we ran in the snow for a long time yesterday. One of the neighbors just called me. They're running. And they don't ever run. Conditions are questionable. See, it's melting. It's melting. Look at all that tar spot. Another 20 minutes. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes, and then we're going. Okay, I waited longer than 20 minutes. I waited almost another hour. In fact, it's been so long that Brock is here. Which means we could have just stayed in the field that we were in the back there, but I already moved the grain cart up. We're here, so we're gonna open up this field here behind the buildings, which is technically part of the same field that we were in on Saturday. Whatever, it's fine. But we're gonna do that NCGA trial this afternoon, it sounds like. So, we gotta get it opened up. That field, over there. So we gotta go this way. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of snow yet. We'll see how, we'll keep an eye on stuff, but you guys saw what we were combining in yesterday, so hopefully it'll keep melting off. We'll be all right. It won't plug anything up, but we will watch things fairly closely. So we're not doing this whole field here. We are just gonna get the end rows done on both ends, do a pass or two along the side because you can't use the edge pass, unfortunately. And then we're gonna skip over anything that could be potentially part of the plot and do the stuff back up closer to the building site there and get it out of the way. So, NCGA entry, National Corn Growers Association National Corn Yield Contest. Basically, we have to have a 10-acre field, which this field is more than 10 acres. You have to have a minimum of 5 acres left after you take the end rows and the boundaries off. You have to harvest 1.25 acres for the official entry. And so we'll do all that later when we get that stuff figured out. But basically, we're trying to find the best spot in this field and see how high of a yield that we can get. I have done fairly well in this contest in the past. You may remember that last year I placed second in the conventional till irrigated category for the state of Michigan. That's pretty good. That's incredible. I don't know that we're going to be as good this year or as competitive because I don't have any irrigated corn. It's all dry land, and we just didn't quite get the rainfall that we needed all year to be super competitive, I don't think. But we'll find out here. Okay, we're making this first pass along our filter strip here in the waterway. This should tell us a lot on how good this corn's gonna be. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers. We'll see. The best part of this is just over in there. That's where we're going to take our yield trial from. So we'll see. We'll see what we end up with, but I think we'll do okay. We probably aren't going to win, but I think we'll do okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, it said 3 something for a second there. I know what I've done in the past, so I know what I'm shooting for here. but 250 plus would be a solid entry. Finishing the ends up here. The snow is mostly gone. Just a few little bits and pieces here and there, but it's pretty well gone off the head. I think we're in good shape. The loss monitor looks good down there, so that's good. We can keep moving. I don't know how much of this over here I want to leave. That's way more than what we need. So I'm gonna cut a hole through here. We'll work that side off and then maybe peel back this side a little bit, but I'm kind of curious what a pass through the middle here is going to yield. Some of it's good. Well, that first pass through there, it said 230. That's pretty good. It's better over there. It's better in the low ground, so we might make our 250 for a NCGA contest. I'll take that. Slight complication to the plans, we'll call it. Our lane is too greasy to get the trucks in and out. So we're gonna pull out of here. I got the ends off. I got everything opened up that we needed to do to get this plot off later today. We're gonna hope that it dries up throughout the day. But yeah, that's a little frustrating. So we're gonna finish loading this one truck here, or just get everything empty, and then we'll go finish the field in the back where we can pull trucks off the road. Phil's gonna take Brock back to the farm and get the trucks. We gotta get that moved back around here to the side road. So I got some time. We're empty, but we're gonna get full before Brock gets back. So I'm gonna go down and do this pass along the edge. We've got some little end rows in front of the trees over there we can work on, that kind of stuff. Just a couple more rounds to do here. Phil just showed up with another truck, but our cart is gonna be real full here. Yesterday when we were running, I was telling you how I had to use the buttons in the cab on the grain cart to load the cart up real good because, well, Dad doesn't do it from the combine, which is fine. I can handle that from the cab of the tractor and using my cameras. But it is much easier for the combine guy to see, especially in the back and, well, really the whole thing. So when we're getting full here, I kind of taking over controlling the grain cart. Fill just ahead of the center, and then we fill the back, and then we fill the front, because that's what the grain cart sticker says to do. Not quite going to be totally full. It's going to be close. We're about empty. I need to clean my windows, all of them. The ones in the grain tank are hard to do, because usually when I'm cleaning the rest of the windows on the cab, the grain tank is folded down. There we go. It's got to have 60,000 on there, or pretty darn close. But we should have enough room in the cart now to finish the last two rounds. Good enough. Let's see if he managed to get empty. How do we see that, you ask? Well, we have cameras everywhere. He did get it empty. I'm impressed. Notice how there was no paint in that spot? That's the spot where we unload. That's the home point. The machine sink lines it up in the perfect spot every time. I don't know how we ended up off 4 rows, but we ended up off 4 rows. Might have something to do with that single pass that was done yesterday to clean up some stuff. Anyway, we're about done here, so we're gonna get this done. And let's see, 224. So I got to print some paperwork off before we can do that NCGA trial. We can finish a little bit in that field if the lane has dried up some, maybe a little bit. We could open up some stuff around my corn plots. So all of those are things that may happen next. All right, 74-ish acres done in that one. It's a good deal. 207 average. Now that was quite a bit higher, and then we did along those trees, and we also got into the south side of that field that did not get all of the extra treatments and stuff. And when I look at this yield map, it is pretty darn clear where we did our high management trial to me. You see this? Sorry, we're bouncing. Let me get over this tile here. We ran a tile from that field across our lane, and now it's rough. See that strip right there? That's the high management trial, and it stands out like crazy, which at a 30 bushel increase, you would expect it to. So, but yeah, that's a result, and that's good. Okay, I finished up what I wanted to over there. I don't need all of that left that's there, but I don't want to do anything right now until we get our contest entry done. He should be here in an hour, hour and a half, so not a big deal. I jumped across the lane. This is my plot field. We're not going to do the plot today. We might do it tomorrow. I kind of want to see what the moisture is out here. Most of this is 107-day corn out here that I finished the field with. It might not be that wet, but I really just want to open it up, and I want to do the pass along the road because I can't see pulling out of my driveway from my seed warehouse over there. So, you know, we're just going to do that. 24. I mean, if we're, yeah, it's climbing. 25. I don't know. If we're in that ballpark, we might just run it off. We'll see. Waiting on my grain cart. He was getting emptied from that last field. Jump over here. We're going to run this stuff in front of my boy's path. We got a lane between the houses. We're going to run that off because it's not part of the plot. We'll do these ends, and then we can do some in the back of the field that's not part of the plot as well. So, where's he going? He's going all the way around. Taking the long way. Okay. Think we can get anything out of our sweet corn patch? Shouldn't be any ears left, right? Residue control, that's what we're doing. Residue management. And killing our yield. Absolutely destroying our average yield. It's okay. It's alright. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, well, we don't have all the end rows done yet. I got 2 more passes here and here to do. But we're close. 8 acres done, and we haven't even got all the end rows off of this field. Anyway, my guy's here to do my NCGA entry, so we're going to jump across the lane here after we get this pass done, and I'll see what we come up with, I guess. So I've got the spreadsheets here. We've got to harvest 1.25 acres minimum. We can do more than that, but we got to do 1.25 acres minimum, and then put it in a truck and take it to town. They've got to take the moisture sample on it. We've got to weigh it, dump it, get a empty weight, and then we can do the math from there according to the spreadsheet. He's got to take measurements for length and make sure all the equipment is empty when we start, blah blah blah, all of that stuff, and then we'll get our numbers. So what was I gonna say? Oh, so we do have to take this to an elevator. We can't use the grain cart scales or the combine scales, yield monitor, anything like that. It does have to be official. I am really hesitant to take a semi-truck with, what's it gonna have, 300 bushel, 350 bushel in it, all the way to Mount Pillier to the elevator that we normally haul to, which is 15 miles. So we might go 5 miles up the road to Waldron, where we don't really sell much, but for stuff like this, it's convenient. All right, so we're getting ready to do this NCGA entry, right? And one of the things you have to do is measure the length. I got the measuring wheel out. We threw a tape measure on the floor just to calibrate and make sure it's dead on. It's exactly right. We're good. Okay, we are ready to start this trial. I'm jumping over from the crappy looking corn over there. This looks like a pretty good pass all the way through. We're gonna make the pass, see how many acres we got. I reset a counter on here so that it'll keep track. And we still gotta measure them to be official, but at least I will have a pretty good idea. But let's see what we get here. Good. We'll see. I don't do this often where I have to dump into a truck directly, but I don't like it. I can barely see. This old auger's so high that target looks small there, but we got it. I don't think we're spilling too much. I hope not anyway. We have to take this to town. I don't want to go through the cart and risk that extra step in there and having to get it all cleaned out and then potentially losing some or whatever, so we're going right into a truck. We will have an official weight on it so I can manually enter that load into the cart scale system so that we won't lose any data. Well, it says 3 passes was 1.25 acres. He's going to go out and measure them, and we're going to do the math before we leave because we have to have 1.25 acres. So we're going to make sure that we've gotten at least that. But I think we're done shelling, harvesting, and We'll get this unloaded into the truck and we'll go weigh it up. Outside of that one spot, the yield never dipped below our 220, which 220 is not good enough. So that's a good sign. But I don't know. I think we made 250. I do think we made 250. I don't know that we have a winning entry here, but I didn't think we had a winning entry last year, and it was. So who knows what we'll end up with. Good enough to turn it in, good enough to win will be determined. I do have 2 more of these. I had a feeling this one was my good one, so we'll see what those other fields do, but it is what it is here. 40 feet. We're 40 feet short, according to my calculations. We had like just under 1.25 acres, 1.2 something. So we're gonna combine until the yield goes down. Now we're gonna do a little bit here, make sure we're well over, and that we've got enough. I'm gonna need to pick all these kernels up here. Oh man, it's all right. All right, we've got it in there. You can see it. You can see it over the top of the truck. So we're going to take this to town, have them sample and weigh it and sell it and all the things. There was quite a gap in the filming between when we finished that and went to weigh it and when the next clip starts here. But I'm not going to give you a total yield yet on that entry. We did make 250. It was pretty good. I still don't think it's going to win. You'll find out later what the actual yield was on it. All right, we finally got this field done, cleaned up all the rest of that stuff where the plot was. All of that was really, really, really good corn, like phenomenal. Our average when we started into those was 204, and it made it up to 211 on the whole thing there. And that spot that's missing, well, that's because we were watching a football game instead of mapping at that point in time, Saturday night. But that's okay. We do have it, and it's there. Let's see. Click on this, click on this, and click on that. There, it's there. So, anyway, we got this one done. It was really good corn. The last stuff, see that? 243? Yeah, really good corn. We're going to jump across the lane again, go back over where the plot is, and get the rest of the stuff around the plot done. And then that'll probably be it for tonight. So, what time is it? 6:45. Yeah, that'd be a good stopping point for the day. Tomorrow, we should have a big day. I don't know if Brock's going to be around tomorrow or not. We'll figure that out later. This is getting a little frustrating. This is about the 4th time today that the display froze and has had to be shut off and restart. Now this time, all I did was stop and it kind of restarted on its own. The other 3 times that I've done it, I've had to get out and actually hit the battery disconnect and kill the combine, restart it, and then boot the whole thing up again. So at least this time I don't have to get out, but I'm getting a little frustrated. Focus, there we go. I think we've got about 2 more passes over there that we can make to get up to close to the plot. It's not the start of the plot, but it's close to it, so we're gonna stop there. I've got a little bit to finish up over here yet, kind of fill in these gaps. This is pretty good corn out here too. Like, I'm impressed. This is an old 107-day standby number for the seed company that shall not be named. We've been playing it for a long time. It's really good corn, so I'm not surprised. You know, running 240, 250, and this was some of the last stuff we planted. Standability is really good. It's a little wet, 26, so I'm not thrilled about that, but it was planted the 16th of May, I believe it was. So, yeah, it's good. Field average is climbing, and we should have plenty of wet corn to dry for a while, but get the wet bin emptied by the morning so that we can have a big day tomorrow. Last pass for the night. I'm calling it quits. A little after, it's 8 o'clock, right after 8 o'clock. We'll get unloaded here. I don't know where we're at with trucks or wet corn or any of that stuff, but you can't get any closer to the farm than we are right now, so if you can't keep up here, not going to keep up anywhere. There, you can see it better on the iPad where we're at than you can with me just pointing the camera over. We'll probably just throw the combine back in the shop tonight because it's probably going to frost again, and I'd rather keep it warm so I don't have ice on my windshield in the morning. So we'll do that. Open sesame. Look at that. It worked. suppose I'll have to move my truck out of here to put the combine in. Kind of forgot I put it in here. My tire pressure sensor warning thing was going off because it got cold, and so I brought it in here to air the tires up when I was waiting this morning. Well, we've got 3 lights, I believe. Get up here where we can see them. There we are. 3 lights on the wet bin, so we're going to let the dryer run for a while. Not enough to run it all night. I told Phil I'd come back and shut it off later tonight. So we'll come back and do a late night dryer check. Not really a check, more of a shutdown, but you guys don't need to see that. So Brock's gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna shell corn tomorrow. I might try and do a live stream, so kind of keep your eye out for that. Hopefully tomorrow mid-afternoon, maybe-ish, something like that. But we'll see. And yeah, thanks for watching today. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, be sure and leave them down below. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, please go do. In my opinion, it's one of the best I've done in a while. I really liked that video and editing it. It went pretty well, so check that one out. And see you guys tomorrow. Another day of corn harvest. I have no idea what day of harvest we're on. It's been a lot, but another one tomorrow.